全身是伤悲。
All right, all right. Getting things together here. Having a little bit of fun here. All right. All right, put that toy away. Got 29 minutes and then we'll be starting the news. Until then, I'm just gonna go into Anthem, do some Free World. trying some new music out. Supposedly a non-copyrighted playlist.
Ah, good. Ready for contracts. Diggs will be looking for opportunities. We work now to make sure he does not have them. Meanwhile, I will look for our stolen fragments.
Give the volume a bump. Got a little louder. It's already out. Lower the music a little so there. All right, give this a go. Okay, complete Yarrow's contract. Looks like he wants to talk to us too.
Ah, freelancer. You have time?
Sure. What's going on?
Your work is having an effect. People come by, some speak their thanks.
Something else on your mind?
When I was a young man, strong, oh so handsome, very skilled freelancer. Good heart, but selfish, arrogant. Everybody knew me, and I knew everything.
Really?
Oh yes, very handsome. I got a message one day. Outlaws making trouble for people out in the jungle.
Sure, just routine, right?
Just routine. I go, I fight. After, I notice one of them is only wounded. He spat and cursed me, but I could see fear in his eyes.
What did you do?
What would you have done?
I would do not a damn thing.
Walked away. He wasn't a threat anymore. My first responsibility is to make sure the people were safe.
That is exactly your responsibility, which is why you are wrong.
What?
I walked away, like you said. I knew best, right? Show mercy. But he saw my mercy as an insult. He hunted me for years.
But he didn't find you?
No. Somewhere out in the jungle. I don't know where. He found Freelancer Garnet. He killed my friend. Worst part, the bastard left me a message at the fort. Wrote it out plain.
Yarrow.
He found the way to hurt me after all. All this, my fault.
Not his fault.
No way. You're not responsible.
I left the outlaw alive. I am alive. Garnet is gone.
Hard to see the good in that.
Not hard. My arrogance was thinking I could afford mercy. Mercy doesn't keep the people safe. After that, the people could count on me. Now, they must count on you. You hear me?
I hear you. So, you caught him, right? The outlaw?
No. He died before I could hear Garnet's story. You tracked
All
down
right.
Alec, yeah? Oh,
Let's go do this contract.
We'll see.
He's been building it himself.
I'm using what they call the Ranger. So this is the Ranger suit. We're playing on hard.
Show you the truth. If you don't let me lose, if you tell me what you need.
So we follow the markers.
Should you take me from this darkness left inside?
I overheated.
So empty, pretending under the falling sky. Keep saying rearrange.
I see. The Arcanists are trying to crack open that Shaper door. Buy them time against those outlaws. I understand.
You're always in a hurry with this game. Holy shit. Almost
The
dead.
generators have gone out. See if you can repair them.
Okay.
Put my shields back. Oh. And I'm dead. I died already. What kind of mission did he send me on? I've never been on a mission where they hit me that hard before. They hit me pretty hard.
My suit is prime, Garo. Contract details?
A distress signal from Arcanists under attack. Let's make sure they get help.
Looks like I'm
Okay,
not the only one that
understood.
died. Let it cool off. Uh-oh. Gotta let my jump jets
Think they're
cool
trying
off.
to open that Shaper door. Protect those Arcanists while they work.
Okay.
Loading screens. I think they need to make the Ranger faster because went as fast as I could, and then I had to land to cool off or whatever. Now which way I gotta go?
The generators have gone out. See if you can repair them. Got it.
The generators have gone out. See if I can repair them.
Almost done. You got it. Ah, there. Now head back and protect the Arcanists. Understood.
Crap.
Good, the door is open, but deal with those outlaws. On it. Door is open, just starting to scout ahead for any trouble.
I'll see what can be done. All the time.
This is not a safe place. This is why you're needed.
You arrived when you did. Thank you.
Right in the wall.
Let's call that finished.
Well, hopefully I did it. Let's see what we got. And we got the news in 13 minutes.
Okay, I'm on it.
No, it's not over yet.
Many outlaws. Good. We deal with enough of them, we get their leader.
Okay.
There he is. The leader. Make sure he doesn't leave this area. Understood. Finish the rest off, my freelancer friend.
I understand. It's over. Clear the area.
Finished. Nicely done. Okay, more trouble for us. And by us, I mean you. A freelancer is in a bad way. Make sure everyone gets home.
Okay, I'm on it.
All right.
Good timing. Definitely need some help.
Bad situation with that freelancer. Help them.
On it.
Good. Effective. You're not finished yet. Stand ready. That's one of those weird bugs. A luminary. Still going? Unbelievable. It's not going down easy. That thing just isn't giving up. That's all for the scars.
I owe you a boon, Freelancer.
Good. They won't be causing any more trouble. On behalf of many, I give thanks.
Man, that was a pretty hard mission. All right. I got my blood pumping. Alright, let's see what kind of loots we got. Venom darts. Nothing too exciting. Alright.
That's Hunter Wild, sorry.
I'm going to take a bio break and grab some more coffee before I start the news. I'll be right back in about 2 minutes.
one of the best weapons at taking down shield enemies, and I heart it so much. That's what I'm using right now. Unless there's a different lightning rifle that you're referring to, this one's the one that occasionally smites them. You can hear them getting dismissive. By me! That's what I do. I smite the things. What I really want though is an auto rifle. Or auto cannon, should I say. We're gonna try the lightning rifle and fire off the way. See them as well together.
All right, I'm back. Oh,
So far, I've got the
so I added another half hour on the timer
bonus pistol.
because Oxford's host thing didn't go through yet. So I added another half hour. So in another half hour, we'll start the news, and I'll just fly around in Anthem for a little bit. We're gonna switch over to the other frame, or whatever you want to call it. Javelin. Yes, they call it javelins here. Because we unlock the Colossus. So enter the name. Oh, there you go. Default loadout is firework. See if we can upgrade anything. So this is an unupgraded one. I did think I got a railgun for him.
Flowy bolly thingies. There we go.
Thought I did at least. It was something railgun. It wasn't that high a level.
Needs it? Is it your precious?
I remember looting it last night.
I've only had the civilian violence
Huh.
version of
I'm not seeing it. Maybe it was just the blueprints for it. So I need to equip some weapons for this guy. think I want him to have.
Wait, this is madness. We're not the only people going for the miniguns.
Oh, he's got a marksman's rifle.
Ow! That stung.
Sniper. Guess he's got what I can give him. I can craft something. Let's craft it. Hold the craft it.
The other colossus. They're doing exactly the right thing. According to theory of me.
Okay, I didn't even have a thing for him, so I crafted it. This guy needs it's not gonna help him much because he doesn't even have a shield. He just has armor. There we go. Armor reinforcement. And I don't have a high one, so we'll make one. Let's craft it. Oh, nice.
There's an option of coming. Two numbers of nice.
Wait a minute. I already crafted it. I know I did, didn't I? Gotta go to this tab. Ooh, yeah, that's badass. And then, I mean, he's got the shittiest jump jets, like, ever. So to make him mobile, I'm gonna give him some jump jet action.
Like down the river on a PT boat.
Oh, there's one just for the jump jet things. But maybe I don't have a pattern for it. All I got is this heat one. I wonder what these exclamation points are on those ones.
Health needed. Engine room for PT boats. PT boats are, I think, bigger than a lot of people thought they are. I think basically
See, what I wanted is this one with the jetpack. We put this one on. I think that shows us that it's on my other. Let's see what we can build here. %. So let's see. This is 10% too. 5% damage. The other one's even better because it's like, oh, ice damage plus 5. This one's all damage. This has got a 14. I don't know, well, a little bit more armor, but not much. I don't know. Okay. I think that was a waste. All right.
Did you just look at the market lately? So sad to see the empty stalls.
Okay, I've never been in this one before. It's gonna be all different. It's going in the real world, and since I don't have this guy leveled up, I'm gonna put it on normal. Starting the expedition. It's a long load screen. Super long load screen.
Scars have been taking Arcanists. Get them back.
Okay, I'm on it.
See, this one can fly even less than the other one. He's so fat. He's a fat boy.
Rescue those Arcanists and eliminate those Scars. We still need to help those Arcanists.
Hulk smash. Smash you. Yes, I smash you. Smash.
We need to get to those captured Arcanists quickly.
You're a freelancer? Well, thank you. Now I'm done. No enemy standing.
Oh hey, while you're out there, the patrol of Sentinels did a nick back. If you can, please bring back their signets.
I'll see what I can do.
You found the downed Sentinels and Scars. You better clear them out first.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it in time. My guy's so slow. It's hammer time.
You've got a signet. Good. Next signet acquired. A pack of Wolven just arrived. They have to be looking for food. Just one more signet. That's every signet. The sentinels who died here will rest easier now. Another issue. While I have you. A nearby sentinel patrol is asking for help against a swarm of scars.
Understood. Let's see what I can do.
See what I can do. This guy is pretty slow.
The sentinels, they need help finding those scars.
You got it.
Dude, I went as fast as I possibly could. And the timer ran out. The timer's definitely too short. Oh, I hit my head.
One of their leaders just arrived.
On it.
Down! The Scar's down and no Sentinel casualties. Great work. Good work handling those Scars. Believe me, the Sentinels are grateful.
That was pretty easy. Oh man, I got ripped off. It wasn't my fault I couldn't keep up. Look at all that. I got the big bonus. Are you shitting me? I just made that. Ooh, this is a good one. Oh, yeah, that's a really nice one. Bastards. I feel like I wasted my time and energy making that stuff.
Lucky Jack's been a busy one. Shipper up.
What? The one I made's freaking better. Oh no, it's the wrong one. This one's better. Oh. Colossus ammo storage. This is it right here, this railgun thingy. Oh, I wasn't even using it. Bastards. Colossus parts. Oh, bastards. All right. I see how you are. shotgun, shotgun, shotgun. They love giving me these shotguns, man. That's what I got equipped right now. Guess I can get rid of all this little crap. Crap. Probably do the same here. Okay. Now let's see if we got any more parts that make Colossus parts. No, it did. We had one, and now we have two. Let's see.
Now here's where it gets fun. Time to make a statement.
Time to make a statement. Black. Black. Guess that's what it is. It is what it is. I see what we're dealing with here. Okay. First, identify. Okay, yeah. Very cool. Very cool. I like it. So far, so good. What the hell happened there? Okay. What is this? Steel ball. That's all it is. Okay. What is this? Oh. Yeah. I love it.
Born into half of a body, desperate to be realigned. Aliens to touch.
The Hulk, for sure.
Separation magnetizing a reunion of golden souls.
Countdown is up. It's time for the news, but I'm almost done. Oh, what the heck happened? I thought I had that nailed. I forget to hit save. Add color. Got it. Roger that. Oh yeah. Definitely. All right. It's about news time.
You can't turn around without tripping over something.
Yeah, the mech looks a lot better now. It definitely looks 100% better. Okay, we're done. Time for the news. We'll play more of that after the news if there's time, depending on how much news that there actually is today. Because we love the news. The news is our friends. Okay. Without further ado, it's about that time. Here we go. Once again, Star Citizen news. Will the Daylight Gamer still no Star Citizen contact in a while? Yeah, he's I don't know, on break or something. Okay, so we have STL Youngblood 3 days ago, meaning we haven't seen it. The new Argo SRV.
Hey guys, Youngblood with you, and today we're going to do our Should You Buy video on the new Argo SRV. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this ship, it's basically a dedicated tugboat in the Star Citizen universe made by Argo, not to be confused with the MPUV, which is another specific ship from the manufacturer Argo Astronomics. Now, the SRV is going for about $130 war bond or $150 using credits. And you may be asking, why the hell is this basically $100 more than the existing Argo? And there are a lot of reasons for that, but the first of which is that the Argo isn't a ship, it is a brand, so the MPUV is a much smaller vessel than the SRV. Not to mention the scope and roles they play are very, very different. Now, it's better to compare this to an entry-level type of profession ship like the Prospector, and when you look at it like that, it makes more sense from a pricing standpoint. The SRV is about 28 meters long, 19 meters wide, and 9 meters tall, which roughly puts it in similar size to a Cutlass, though the Cutlass is a little bit wider, though it is pretty close in size. Now, to compare, the Argo MPUV, if you're still hanging on that comparison, is 9 meters long, 8 meters wide, and 4 meters tall, so you can see there is a drastic difference in scale between these two ships. Now, the SRV has a crew of 1, which is essentially your pilot and tug operator, but you do have the ability to carry 3 more people for a total of 4, which would ideally be the people that you are rescuing from your missions, because there's not a lot of value in bringing spare people along in a vessel like this. Components-wise, you bring a small radar, 2 small computers, and 2 small fuel intakes, along with a medium power plant, a medium cooler, shield generator, fuel tanks, and most importantly, quantum and jump drives. That means that not only can you tow people, but you can end up jumping with them, which is a pretty critical ability to bringing them back to a location that would allow you to be able to refuel or repair their vessels. Now, interestingly enough, the SRV is one of our only vehicles that has no weapons, though it does bring countermeasures along with it, which means that you're either really restricted to operating in safe space or you're really relying on an escort. The documentation does state that it comes with tough armor and shields, though even though the components tend to reflect that, there's not really any ship that is immune to attacks for very long without any ability to fight back, so an escort is basically mandatory with this ship. Now, I don't see details on engines or maneuvering thrusters, but we do see that the ship is coming with a top speed of 200 meters per second, which is faster than I expected, though I do expect to be a baseline with nothing in tow. Now, I do expect you to be able to get up to 200 meters per second with a ship in tow as well, though I fully expect that it's going to require a long time to accelerate up to that speed while towing a ship. The tractor system on this ship is interesting, with it having the max traction Bullock tractor plate that has a tractor beam that seems to deploy from within, which is likely going to help it from taking critical damage when it's not in use. It also has arms that are articulated to allow it to be able to grab oddly shaped items with the tractor, as well as being able to compress and carry cargo below it. Now, the documentation does say that you're able to carry cargo with this ship and states that there is a 10 SCU capacity on the ship, though I do have a hard time finding space interior for this, so my gut says that carrying 10 SCU of cargoes on the ship is achieved via the tractor beam on the bottom, kind of similar to like a Hull series ship, but without a physical connection. Now, that does make me wonder how useful this is going to end up being, because if you're engaged, you may need to end up dropping that cargo to be able to escape, or if you're hit with distortion weapons, it may be a scenario where the power plant can't sustain the tractor beam, then the tractor fails and you lose your cargo. Which means for me that I'm looking at cargo ability on this ship purely as a plus benefit and not something you can count on day to day. Basically, I don't think you buy this ship for its cargo ability, but something that can come in handy superfluously. Now, I do wonder how strong this is going to be, and if you can grab vehicles to help to deploy them to friendly locations, talking about the tractor. So whether that be an Ursa or a Tonk, maybe you can help to get them to a spot where they're more effective and utilize the higher speed of the SRV for interesting deployments. Maybe that's a possibility where this becomes helpful, but we need a little bit more information there. Now, the documents do go on to talk about being able to use several SRVs to tow in tandem, basically meaning that you can tow larger ships, and the way that it's written is that I bet they use the extra computers, because they do have 2 medium computers on these ships, to be able to do some sort of linking like quantum jumping is done today. Now, as far as design is concerned, it's familiar for those that know the Argo MPUV of today, but specific to this ship, you also have a cockpit that gives solid visibility with a 180-degree field of view, not to mention an interior that is going to give you space for your passengers, which includes a bathroom, jump seat, multifunction table, and storage for personal items. Now, I don't see a bunk for anybody anywhere, so logging out in this ship shouldn't be an option for the pilot or the newly discovered crew, which means that you're really limited to more shorter range missions and locations with beds to log out when it's time to go, lacking things that you would need to be able to find at different locations. Now, considering the goal of this ship is to return the ships that you're towing to locations that can repair or refuel, I think that makes a certain amount of sense, considering most of those should end up having locations where you can log out and have beds to be able to wake up on your next game session. So that's basically the Argo SRV, but who should buy this ship? Well, the most important note here is that the distinct lack of weaponry means that this ship becomes a very niche player. If you're planning on running a solo vehicle with no support, I don't think this ship is for you. Now, sure, you could go out and run missions and maybe be fine sometimes, but if you continually die as part of these missions, you may end up failing them more than you complete them, which means you may end up seeing reputation starting to take a dive. Now, if you have a warship in tow, that doesn't do you a lot of good either, because they're just purely out of gas. Maybe you could have their turret kind of help you provide some cover fire, but that's a stretch, especially considering I'm guessing maneuverability when towing a vehicle is very much limited. But let's assume that you have the ability to have a fighter cover available, then I think this becomes an invaluable craft for organizations, or for those that are wanting to get into this profession, or maybe just doing role-playing. When we start talking about Elite Dangerous, there's a group known as the Fuel Rats, who are basically good Samaritans that go out and help those who run dry on fuel. I could see people that want to go out and help others leveraging this ship to go out and just tow them back, especially since you don't end up having to provide them with fuel of your own that cost you credits other than what the SRV itself is going to be using to provide that service. So with that in mind, I think this becomes an interesting alternative to things like Starfarers, Vulcans, Crucibles, and maybe even Reclaimers, because you can pull people or salvage back instead of taking the goods to them, and even at a potentially much lower cost to most of those other ships in regards to the initial purchase price. Now, I think this ship is really for those who want to help others, have a career that's always going to have people in need, especially when ships are less likely to explode and more likely to become disabled, and people want to be able to help them see these situations through and get their ships back and basically not have to go through the death of a spaceman and reclaiming ships and those types of things.
I didn't
Now, frankly,
buy
a
one.
tow truck has been discussed for a
I
long
didn't
time.
want
It is
one.
something that I think has a lot of value. Most importantly, when persistence is more of a factor. Now, is it worth the 130 or 150 bucks? I think the answer is probably a yes if you're interested in playing this type
I drove a
of support
tow
role,
truck
but
like 3 or 4
only if
times
you
in my
have another
life.
ship, because I think the lack of
None of them
weapons
were
is
fun.
concerning, and the fact that I have concerns about its cargo ability being really limited to the exterior part and probably being susceptible to distortion weapons. So, can you get by with this as your only ship? Probably, but will it be easy? Probably not. Overall, I think it's a cool ship. It's a good gameplay mechanic, and I think the price is fair, so it gets a thumbs up from me if you fit those needs, but I would say it's more specific to those that want this ship as a supplemental craft to something else that you already have in your fleet. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys have questions or comments, please get them in the text sections below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for a lot more coming soon, and have yourselves a wonderful day. Take care.
STL Youngblood. All right. Thank you for that, sir. We will put a link to his video. Chat. People can like and subscribe. STL Youngblood. All right, next up on our hit list is Tactical Advance. Six days ago. We did that last week. So nothing new. All right. Montoya. Gonna talk about Anthem or not? Talk about Valentine's Day ship sale 4 days ago. Because it's still for sale, we'll watch it.
You and yours, 2 new concept ships from CIG. Celebrate a happy belated Valentine's Day to you and yours. 2 new concept ships from CIG celebrating Valentine's Day. Let's take a look. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am Montoya. 2 new ships out of Star Citizen celebrating Valentine's Day. At first glance, I was not too excited for either, but drill down a bit deeper and you will see something very, very interesting. And if you don't see it, I'll explain it. Let's take a look here. Spaces for Lovers was the page. Happy Valentine's Day, blazing hearts and burning passion, blah, 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 blah. This ship has a heart on it. Now, first of all, red and whatever that silver color is, not my first choice of color schemes. Black and yellow is the most superior of all color schemes. But if you do, for some reason, want hearts on your ship, this is probably a collector's item that you do want to get. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, blah, who's going to want hearts on this ship? But as you read more into it, look at it. Feeling Hornet? CIG, you are getting so saucy in your old age. Very well done. Hearts of Fire, rekindle your love affair with space combat in Anvil's limited edition Hornet F7C-M Heart Seeker. Blast your enemies halfway across the universe with his quartet of imposing bearing laser cannon. Isn't it romantic? Now that's actually an important point there, that it is armed with laser cannons. Why? When you are far from home and you have ballistic weapons, you risk running out of ammo. But when you have laser weapons, you don't run out of ammo. All you need is enough power to keep them powered. Which brings us to discuss the components of the ship, which is the magic lies. Now, before we get there, the price for cash, $175. If you're using store credit, $195. More expensive than the Super Hornet, Why? We'll get to that. Also available is the Cyclone in red and the 85X with red accents on it. She is a sexy ship. Now, let's take a look at some of the stats. A big thank you to Trans Warp Drive on Reddit who posted this. He pulled the stats from a site called hardpoint.io. Go check it out. Now, Super Hornet versus the Heart Seeker. This is what kind of changed my mind on this ship and made me consider it. I still haven't bought it, by the way, but here's the thing. When you get the Super Hornet, your power plant is the Aegis Regulus. Its output is 1980. If you get the Heartseeker, the default power plant is the Sunflare, which puts out 2,340 units of power, much, much better. Heat generated way below half of what the Super Hornet does. Interesting. And it only gets better. Check this out. Shield generator. Super Hornet comes with the all-stop, 1,800 units. Force wall, 1876, better. Power required, better. Recharging, better. Heat generated, better. Better, better, better. This is a better component compared to the all-stop. Weapons. Heartseeker comes with 1 times S4 gimbaled. This can be changed to a size 5 fixed. Crazy. What kind of DPS can you expect? Well, Super Hornet burst DPS 1,445. Heartseeker almost 2,000 DPS burst. Nuts. Sustained DPS 594. Heartseeker 1,105. This thing is a beast. Now, before you go and sell your Super Hornet, keep in mind you can upgrade the components on your Super Hornet. All they've done here is taken the top shelf components, put them into a ship with a damn heart on it. But you know what? I see what they've done. And if you don't want to bother with buying components in the game, if you simply want all the components on your ship right away, this is what should be tickling your fancy. The Heartseeker is definitely not to be toyed with. It is a serious, serious fighter, even though it has a heart. Now, let's move on to what is going to be the second ship I bought. Now, this was interesting. I don't know if you've played Elite Dangerous, but in Elite Dangerous, how your ship fuels is by having a fuel scoop on it. Now, you can only scoop fuel from certain types of stars. If you happen to jump into a certain area of space that doesn't have the specific type of star you need to refuel, you will run out of fuel. Why am I talking about this? Well, there's a group of people, a group of players in Elite Dangerous called the Fuel Rats. And what the Fuel Rats do is they'll come out and rescue you if you run out of fuel. This is what they do for fun, and they love it. It's very exciting if you're into that type of gameplay. At the moment, there aren't too many places in Star Citizen where you can run out of fuel, but as our universe expands and grows, there's more jump points, more systems, you can bet there's going to be some guy in his 890 jump who's going to get stranded in the middle of nowhere. What happens when that rich bastard in his 890 jump gets stranded and needs refueling? He needs to call you. He needs to call you in your SRV here to come refuel or tow him. This ship just might be a massive, massive moneymaker in the game. We don't have these game loops in yet, but when they come along, this ship might be the moneymaker you've been waiting for. If you are not into combat, this could be it. And the Fuel Rats in Elite Dangerous have a wonderful time doing what they do. You go out into the far reaches of space, it's dangerous sometimes, and you refuel. But in this case, we can see he's also towing. There might be game loops or missions where there are abandoned wrecks in space or ships which simply can't move on their own propulsion, which require a tow. You bring the ship back to your base, you repair it, you can keep it, you can sell it. This opens up a lot of very interesting game loops. So let's take a look at what the Argo says. United Wayfarers Club. This is essentially the UAE version of the AAA. I love this logo, by the way. Be a real hero. As humanity's presence in the stars continues to grow, so does the opportunity for disaster. That is why the UWC is always looking for reliable pilots to provide assistance and where and when it is needed most. That's where you and the SRV come in. So I've told you about the fuel rats in Elite Dangerous. This is exactly the type of gameplay that they do. And this may even bring them over from Elite Dangerous to Star Citizen to do it here too. I'd love to see that. What does this cost now? $130. Look, it is not cheap. Definitely not cheap. But I do suspect that this will be a good moneymaker in the game. You also have a $200 Argo Utility Pack War Bond. Let's take a look at what that is. For the $200 pack, you get the Argo SRV, you get the MPUV Cargo and Personnel. That's the yellow one, with lifetime insurance on both. And there is the $495 package. Holy crap, what is that about? You get not one, you get two, not two, but three, but four of the SRVs with lifetime insurance. So if you have a large organization and everyone in your org is an idiot that keeps on running out of fuel and needs a tow, you probably need that pack right there. So that's that. At first look, I didn't think it would be that interesting, but upon further inspection, I can see how this could be a new aspect, new game loops in the game that hasn't been announced or done yet. Give me your thoughts. Is this something that interests you? Will you be buying this? Your comments below, always appreciated. If you enjoyed this content, give me a thumbs up. And if you like my hat, link to the merchandise store is below. Support this channel through Patreon, link is below also. And to all my Patreon backers, thank you all for your continued support. I much appreciate it. As always, subscribe, you bastards. I'll see you in the next one.
All right, that was Montoya. So, put a link to Montoya's video of his ship review thingamabob. There you go. And then let's go to Minion Soldier. Let's see what Minion's been up to. One day ago, 4 days ago. Ship updates. Okay, we've heard enough about the Argo. I think Montoya did it wonderfully. So we're gonna go right to this video right here. And this will be our Minion time for the week. Unless he makes a video tomorrow.
Tactileness, a lot more interactive ability and tactileness. No! No!
I'll miss the sea. But a person needs new experiences. They jar something deep inside, allowing him to grow. Without change, something sleeps inside us and seldom awakens. The sleeper must awaken.
So on Wednesday's show, this comment appeared, and it's from David Partridge. In fact, I don't believe anybody who really backs Star Citizen wants PvP. They think they do, but they don't. J. Allen Brack, no, sorry. They think they do, but they haven't thought it through. PvP in this type of persistent game favors people who play 24/7, which is not the majority of players. It's the minority. Remove PvP, there is 90% population of well-simulated AIs for people to fight. Remember that most people have never played simulated flight simulator AI. They don't realize that that will be enough challenge in itself without having the risk of them being trolls and being unrealistically for the universe overgunned to fight you. Now,
I want to take a stab at that first. I would tell this guy, what he says is kind of upsetting to me, but you know, if you don't like PvP, then there's supposedly going to be a slider that you can slide over, and the servers are going to try to steer it that way to put you in with people that also have their sliders over that way. And then there's also going to be, it's going to know the higher skilled people from the lower skilled people by their wealth and their assets. And they're going to go, okay, this guy's only built up his skills this much, and he only plays so many hours a day. This account over here is, oh my god, this guy's got everything maxed out and blah blah blah. And the server should know enough not to put you guys in the same instance. At least that's the way I was told. And plus, it's going to be so big and so wide that it's all going to be pretty much marked off by reputation. Like, if you go out to that system, it's full of these guys that do their thing out there, and if you go out there, they're going to mess with you. So you just don't go there, my friend, and you go somewhere else. That's what I got to say about it.
I don't really agree with this statement for like a number of reasons, and I'll kind of go through it. But in the beginning, in fact, I don't believe anybody who really backs Star Citizen wants PvP. I don't think that that's true. I think that there's a lot of players out there who do want the PvP, who do want the challenge of another player. You know, you go on to AI later on, and I'll touch on that. But I think that there is a portion of the community out there who's like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I want that PvP. I want that. Is it the majority? I don't think that it is. In all honesty, it's hyperbole, but I don't think that those players are the majority. I think that there's a lot of players who are coming to Star Citizen because they're dissatisfied with other MMOs, and they're looking for something new, something bold, and they're certainly beyond just the PvP aspect. I mean, look what I'm doing right now in the background. I'm landing a giant salvage ship on like an entire planet that's modeled in a solar system that is modeled to this level of fidelity in a universe at some point in the future that is going to be modeled to the same level of fidelity, you know, with all these distances to cross and everything that goes along with it. There's a lot of people who are lining up just for that experience, right? And I think that to kind of say, like, I don't want PvP, I don't want it out there, I would say that there's probably a lot of people who have had negative experiences, but I think that with open world PvP games, it offers you a chance to really see what works and what doesn't. Some players like that, some players don't. You know, they don't like seeing their ideas kind of get blown apart and shattered in front of them. They go, oh shit, I guess that idea that I had didn't really work. And, you know, they certainly don't like the idea of, well, you know, I thought every fight was going to be a 1v1, but then all of a sudden 5 other guys came in. Of course they did. Of course they did. It's logical to do that. You know, bring more guns than the other guy. Why wouldn't you? And so I think that there's a lot of people who don't like it because it interferes with what's convenient to them in the moment. You know, well, I should be able to fly my reclaimer solo across dangerous space to harvest this very valuable resource. And anyone who tries to stop me in an open world PvP game is clearly a griefer and should be banned. You know? The opportunity in a universe like that to grow as a player, to develop as a player, is something that I think a lot of people push aside, and I don't think that they should. I think it's something that they should be much more willing to embrace, because it can really take you to new levels of gameplay. It can force you to evolve as a player, to become a much better player. I mean, from my own personal experience, I mean, everybody knows that I'm a big WoW nerd. If I had stayed on the original server that I had made my character on, I would have continued to be an average player, but instead I transferred over to one of the biggest rating realms in the US. And I realized very quickly that once I got there, I really wasn't all that good of a player. But I really sharpened up to the point that I actually went back and looked at my old realm and compared myself to my compatriots over there, and I realized that, oh my God, if I now transferred there from where I am with the skill set that I have now, I would be like a god to those people. But where I am right now, I'm pretty good. You know, by putting yourself in a very challenging environment, if you rise to the occasion, it can make you a much better player. And you just have to open up to the fact that you don't know everything, and that there are players out there who can teach you things. And just because you get shot down in PvP, it's not, you know, I got to break my keyboard and throw a huge fit and turn into a big rage queen on stream because I got shot down. It's like, no. That person just taught you something. That person just gave you a free lesson. You should step back from it for a second and go, what can I learn from this? What has this taught me? Where's the flaw in my tactics? Where's one of the many flaws in my tactics? And then learn from that experience and grow and become a better player. The more challenging the environment, the better the player that you're going to get coming out of that. The problem with entrusting AI to deliver your challenge is that, let's say, you know, all 500 people at CIG are working on this AI. You know, obviously unrealistic, but let's just say all 500 people are working on creating this super challenging AI. So the Pirates and the Vanduul and the eventual persistent universe are going to be just, you know, amazing. And they're not going to try to, you know, shortcut it the way many developers do by kind of making AI a little god mode and giving them unrealistic resilience to kind of preserve the fighting experience and all.
Hey, Innkeeper. What's up? Hey, Corpse. Hey, 82Y. Why what? Why 82Y? The number 82? Oh, it's random. Unless you want to go with, I think it was kind of around when I got my driver's license, was back in 82. Nah, man, I was born in 66. 1966.
All that. You might have 500 people working on it, but then you have, for all intents and purposes, an infinitely larger number of people who are dedicated to destroying that system that you are building up. Look at other gaming communities. Look, you know, from any number of titles that are different things, from Sword and Board to, you know, to phasers and photon torpedoes. There are dedicated groups of players out there who organize information, who go, this is how you defeat this is how you defeat that, It doesn't matter what game you play. There are people who create guides to how to just completely destroy any challenge in a video game. And game companies update it, and the players find a new way to break it down and say, this is how you beat it, and it's this easy, and blah, 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 blah. In reality, as much as game developers will try to create challenging AI, in the end, players will always break it. They will always be ahead in the arms race unless you put in those unrealistic, kind of God mode AI that, have incredible damage resistances or can do these enormously damaging abilities, with no apparent cooldown. The truth is that ultimately that AI will be defeated and they'll be sent back to the drawing board, and players will just figure out a new system for beating them. It's the way it always works. So, AI can be challenging, and certainly the Star Citizen universe can provide a very rewarding PvE experience. It's true. But I think that the threat of imminent PvP, I think that for the players who accept that it's there, it shapes the way they think.
He's talking so slow.
It shapes the way they perceive the universe and how they approach things. They tend to be a lot less idealistic, and they tend to be a lot more objective.
Sounds better to sped
in
up.
how they approach the game. They're not going like, oh, well, it should be this, it should be that. They kind of, the players who come out of a system like that, they go, okay, these are the objective conditions of the battlefield. How do I work around that? The people who accept that, the people who grow within that system, generally come out as better players. If you look at a situation like Jumptown, a lot of players will say, "Oh, I'm being forced to PvP. These people are griefing me as I try to fly directly into Jumptown, and just pick up drugs at the illegal drug."
At this point, I'm listening to see how far he's going to babble.
They'll get on the forums and they'll get in the local chat and they'll yell.
He already lost me,
but mean to me and blah, 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 blah. But think about it. Those people are just being stupid. They're flying into a war zone, knowing it's a war zone. And then when they get shot, they're like, oh, well, this is unfair. But there are people out there who are currently flying in and out of Jumptown, and nobody knows that they're doing it. They're stealthing up. They're slipping in with a cutlass while other people are distracted fighting someone else. They're grabbing a full load of drugs, and they're flying it out. Why? Because they're smarter, because they're the better player. They may not be PvP-oriented, but they know how to use the systems within the game to make money, even under adverse conditions. That's making better players. And at some point, someone may put out a video.
This is Minion Soldier.
That shows you, here's how you suppress your IR. Here's how you drive your signature down.
He's a pirate.
Here's the components that you should buy to help stealth up your ship so you can do things like this. Remember that even if you're not a PvP-oriented player, you can still win a PvP engagement by avoiding the PvPers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a win. If they're out there hunting anybody and you're able to slip past, get into Jumptown, get that load of drugs and get out of there, that's a win. You're beating them at their own game, even without firing a shot. That's a better player. That's a smarter player. And I think that, the adversity of Star Citizen's PvP system, it makes better players, and it very quickly, shows you what doesn't work and what does work. And guess what? Driving in full bore into Jumptown and ringing the doorbell is not a great idea, but slipping in while someone else is distracted, getting in and getting out real quick, tends to work out.
We got Jumptown stories last week from him too. If you want to do it on a bigger
scale and make even more money, maybe you could get to the point where you're bringing in a larger ship that can haul more cargo, but you have a friend who goes in with a ghost or
a legitimate pirate
and slips in all stealthed up and looks and says, okay, the coast is clear. If
they'll put you in an escape pod
slip in
where they take all your
load
stuff.
That ship up and then get out of there, and you guys split the rewards. That's another way to go about it. You all of a sudden, when you accept the fact that Jumptown is dangerous, and maybe I can't just fly right up and knock on the door. Maybe I have to be a little bit more sophisticated in my approach. Some people will look at that and they'll say, oh, that's so inconvenient. I just don't want to do that. I just don't have the time. Can't we just make it easier? Can't we just take the PvP away? I think that that's an attitude that eventually, it degenerates games. It makes games too easy. And certainly there's a lot of titles that have been around for a long time that have
Surprised how normal it sounds being sped up.
been kind of victimized by that type of attitude. The games have definitely seen a downturn. And I think that if you accept it, if you accept the challenge and you kind of go, okay, how do I work around this? That becomes very engaging gameplay. That becomes gameplay that you can really sink your teeth into. It becomes a lot of fun. And it becomes a very rewarding experience. But if you live in this perpetual
Yeah, but he
fear
doesn't
that,
sound
they're
sped up,
gonna
does he?
shoot me, and they're going to
That's
shoot my
what's
ship,
weird.
and they're going to hurt me, and they're going to hurt my feelings. If you approach it like that, like a nervous Nelly, then maybe this just was never the game for you in the first place. Because I hate to say it, but
Guess it
the open world
depends on the
PvP
speaker.
was something that was always
Like, I'm
going
a
to be
slow
part of
speaker,
Citizen,
so
and
you
it was,
could probably speed me
widely
up.
reported and widely talked about. And I think just trying to get to a point where people might
I tend to think,
agree that, oh yeah, I guess this is too hard. I mean,
then
that's
say,
not what the game is meant to be, and that's not the experience that a lot of
at least
people
I try
signed up
to.
for. Yeah,
Otherwise, I
think
just
there
curse.
are a lot of players who maybe mistakenly look at the PvP one way or another when many of the systems haven't been, kind of laid out in their final form. There's a lot of people who have, I would say, unrealistic expectations. But the core expectation that PvP is going to be there, I think that that's something that a lot of players have accepted. The PvP that we have now, I mean,
I
think
accept
that
it.
that's where I somewhat agree with this statement. The PvP that we have now is unrealistic and is nowhere near going to be what the PvP is in its final form in a finished universe, because there are no cooldowns on ships. There are, my ship blew up. Oh, well, I'll just get another one. I'll just pull another ship out of my hangar and keep going. When in reality, there's going to be a lot tougher things to deal with in the universe, and your ship replacement isn't going to come as quickly. So I think that there are a lot of people who have kind of a skewed perspective on what the PvP is going to be like in the game. But I think that overall, the PvP is going to make a better and much more engaging game. Anyways, that's just my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.
All right, that was Minion Soldier. And here's a link to his video. I hope every week's not going to be another Jump Town story. I don't want to hear about Jump Town. Okay, so here we go. Citizen Gamer. These are the people that do the Blastcast. 13 hours ago. Hot off the press. And it's 7 minutes. They're going to tell us about the ship again. Damn. Let's see what they add to it.
Greetings and welcome to the Blastcast. I am Jarus, and with me as always is a man saltier than the Dead Sea, Lightning Dragon.
This is a proven fact. Look it up.
So let's get into this relatively short Star Citizen news. This week on Around the Verse, CIG showed off some
I got a
tools that they
special
created to
account
help
for
the
my
artist design
piracy.
assets that fall within the parameters required to run in the game, as far as number of draw calls and things like that. This is to reduce the amount of work and rework that has to be done when creating assets for players and player characters. We see this a lot as the game development goes on. They find what their biggest problem is, and then they create a tool that bypasses it. It's always a very interesting side of development. Other than that, the only other thing they really spent time talking about was the Argo SRV, kind of call it the tow truck of the future. Now, some people have compared it to like a tugboat, and they talk about the size difference that it should tow more. But I really think it's better defined as a tow truck. And the reason I say that is that, a tugboat will bring in even a very large boat, but it brings it in really slow, and this thing will tow someone through quantum drive. Now, the ship is 28.5 meters long, 19.5 meters wide, and 8.7 meters high. It has 10 SCU of internal storage, No weapons whatsoever. It does have countermeasures, though I'm not sure how effective that's going to be with basically a slow-moving truck. The tractor beam mounts in the back swivel so they can attach in many different angles, and you can also work with others to go ahead and team up to tow a much larger vessel. Now, a solo SRV may be able to pull up to a Connie-sized ship, but that's not the only use the ship has. You can also use it to transport cargo and move cargo around in hangar bays and whatnot. Grab the big pallets, grab the big storage boxes, and just move them around. Someone also did a size comparison, and they showed that the SRV can almost fit into the Crucible. If the Crucible follows most ships that are of that scale and size, it'll probably get a little bit bigger, and so it's very possible that in the end, this ship might be able to fit inside that repair bay of the Crucible. And I think that combination would be very, very powerful. Obviously not in the combat sense. Now, since I own a Crucible, I managed to snag one too, and, well, there was one role that I felt was missing for a while. It was the tugboat kind of thing, the tow truck, whatever. I wasn't thinking they were going to do it. And when I saw it, I just had to snag it, like, instantly. So what's the tally, Lightning? I'm at 40 ships, at least 40 vehicles that can fly in space, and 10 dedicated ground vehicles.
Too many.
Yeah, but you could use them all.
I'm actually not too surprised by this, since they talked about how hard it was for ship-to-ship docking. It kind of makes sense that it's like, it's a tractor beam, which they already have in game lore anyway.
Yeah, I agree partially. There's a lot of ships that have tractor beams. I wasn't sure of the strength of those tractor beams. Like, remember when the Cutlass first came out, the back door would open up, and this little, like, ball thing would extend on an arm, and there was supposed to be a tractor beam. Now, I was never sure how strong that was going to be. Clearly not that strong.
I would assume it'd be for, like, grabbing loose boxes, or maybe some scrap that you could grab, or, I don't know, maybe a person.
You know, and if you do own a Crucible, a good thing about this ship is that sometimes people are going to get broken down or stranded in asteroid fields, and that might be a ship that could be harder to get where you need to get into to dock that ship up, and the ship could basically drag it to you and then drop it in your repair bay. But on a side note, talking about careers in Star Citizen, I kind of had the thought that maybe you could be an intergalactic repo man. They're going to have ship rentals in the universe, so I'm thinking maybe you keep the ship too long and you get a mission to go steal it back from a player.
What's that show? Something dog or something? No, that's a bounty hunter.
Yeah, it's a bounty hunter. But there's a Repo Men show, so I'm thinking to myself that you could do your own little series on that. The price of the SRV is $130 with war bond purchase and LTI. Now, this price does fall in line with ships of similar size, and I don't find it unreasonable. But as always, if you're new to Star Citizen, you don't have to buy a ship with real money. Just buy the base game, it comes with a starter ship, and when you play the game, you earn money, and you can buy any ship that you see in the pledge store can be purchased in-game with in-game currency. All these are is pledges, and you get a little bit of bonus with it. For me, a lot of it is, I hate grind by any measure, and I think Lightning would agree with me on that too. I want to just get out there and play the game.
Yeah,
Any
I got
role,
a ship
anything I want to do,
buying
that's kind of been a
problem,
big thing for me. And this just happened to be the last one on my list that I can even begin to fathom that I wasn't even sure they were going to do to begin with. But of course, we're not done talking about ships just yet. It's a long missed segment in the show, but I think it's time to go ahead and bring it back. So let's dig into Lightning Dragon's favorite section.
Most of my ships are just gonna sit in the hangar and wait for A-Corps to do something with it, like Acrid does with my house and the other game, Soda. It's just I don't know. I got more ships than what I know what to do with. I mean, I'm gonna have to just like say, okay, what ship do you want this week, and just let people use them.
The Hornet Report.
But why?
CIG put a new Super Hornet on sale with LTI called the Heartseeker. It's a Valentine's Day special that carries 4 fixed guns.
Should I get this? A-Corps? Should I melt my Super Hornet and then rebuy this? Or do I keep the Super Hornet and buy this? Do I need the Super Hornet anymore if I buy this? Yeah, that's what I'm asking. What do you mean don't ask you? Well, who am I supposed to ask? I'm 52 years old. I can't make these. I'm senile. Oh my god.
3 size 3s and 1 size 4 with a nice little World War II-esque girl on a heart and some kind of faux kill stickers on the side of it. So for those of you looking to snag an LTI
on the side of it, but I kind of like the loadout.
Now I didn't actually get one of these as much as I like the skin because I have the military body upgrade kit, and if I put it on that ship it would just undo the look anyway, so I just decided to go ahead and let this one pass. But it's a little bit more expensive than the standard Hornet, but once again, LTI, it's kind of the F-14 of Star Citizen. Now let's just hope they implement it as well as DCS does. That might be dreaming big. CIG is adding simulated traffic effects to ArcCorp. What they do is they place elevated road systems and have kind of a 2D graphic that scrolls across and has lighting effects and things like that. So when you fly over, you'll see traffic. It's an okay Tier 0 implementation. I'm hoping that someday, though, if they actually have this road system that's down there with that, like this 2D graphic on it, that since we can only land in the designated landing zones, if we could take our vehicles and actually drive down highways to another section.
Did you ever get the mini game working with the Bones, A-Corps? Did you ever figure that out? I think it's working. I'm not sure though.
Or another part of town or something. I know it's a lot to ask for. It may never happen, but I would really love that so much. But right now they need to first focus on the core elements of the game, and they can come back to that years down the road maybe as tech gets better, as computers get faster, all that, and really flesh it out, procedurally or otherwise. And lastly, let's get into Reverse the Verse real quick. It was just called The Sounds of Space. It's kind of a jaunt through what it takes to make sound effects and some general questions, including different sounding toilets and things like that. If you're kind of an audiophile and you're kind of curious about how these things are made and what directions you're going with it, definitely check it out. But to be honest with you, there really wasn't a lot there that this channel would dig into. This isn't a sound channel, this is a flight channel, so it was entertaining, so I can give it that much. And later on during the week, we're going to be kind of flipping back and forth between DCS and IL-2, both modern and past. Well, modern with DCS. And of course, intermixed with the extra casts where we go out and play Star Citizen and let all the weird things happen that happen in a game in development. Alright everyone, as I said,
You mean the Firefox add-on? Oh, that's my website right there. All right, back to business. Super Mac Brothers. Yeah, that's what I use. I use Hangar Explorer. Pretty cool. It's adds tabs. These tabs right here, so LTI, whatever. Put your balance spent over here. All right, back to the news. Super Mac Brothers, 1 day ago. I don't want to hear about the Argo no more. Sound and space ships. Blah, blah, blah. Roadmap. Update. Law system. Yes. I want to hear something about the law system. Educate me.
Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. As usual, it is Saturday, which means the roadmap has been updated. Quite a few changes for 3.5, plus a nice addition to 3.6. So starting with 3.5 and characters, the mission giver Tashio Pachenko, who can be found in ArtCorp, has had 3 tasks completed. She's now at 28 out of 46. The DNA face customization, which I'm very excited for, being able to create more diverse characters. That has had 4 tasks completed, but they have added a further 5. That is at 67 out of 109. The playable female characters has had 1 task complete. That is at 81 out of 102. So there's not too much to go there. Only 21, I think. For locations, the ArtCorp planet has had 6 tasks completed on this. It is now at 26 out of 36. So only 10 more tasks remaining until that planet is done. And we've seen a little snippet of this on ATV with the traffic down below. The Area 18 landing location of ArtCorp is at 258 out of 457 tasks completed. They have actually completed 31 tasks and only added 9, which makes a nice change. For AI, the FPS collision avoidance version 2, so making the AI on foot be more aware of their surroundings. They've started on this now. It is at 1 out of 3, so there's only 2 more tasks remaining there. For ship AI, the combat behavior improvements is at 1 out of 4. So again, only 1 task completed on that one. Moving on to gameplay, the vehicle scanning HUD improvements is at 8 out of 22. They have completed 3 tasks since last week, but they have added a further 2 tasks. For quantum travel improvements, they've just completed a task. It is now at 2 out of 12. For vehicle scanning improvements, they have added another task, which is now at 12 out of 17. Last week it was 12 out of 16. For vehicle tech updates version 2, which I'm excited for, being able to choose the paint colours and hopefully some other differences for your ships. They've added a further 7 tasks on that. It is at 9 out of 26. And finally for gameplay, the VoIP and FOIP improvements version 3 is at 12 out of 29, completing 3 more tasks. Only 1 update in ships and vehicles. It is the Origin 300i rework. They've completed 4 tasks. That is at 44 out of 79. They're over halfway now, which is great. For weapons and items, the Gemini S71, which is your assault rifle, a really nice, sleek looking one, that is at 16 out of 29. They have completed 6 tasks and only added 1. The Castak Arms Coda, your cool sort of revolver style 50 caliber pistol, is at 12 out of 26. They have actually completed 6 tasks on that one, so that's coming along very nicely. And the ship weapon, the GT-870 Tarantula Revision, is at 4 out of 23, only completing 1 task there. Now there's only 1 update for Cortec in 3.5, and that's the Projectile Manager, which is at 6 out of 12, only 1 completed task for that one. Now for 3.6, in locations, the rest stop exterior variations have started. They're at 1 out of 18 on that, so they're making progress. But they've also added the law system version 1, which was obviously originally in 3.5, then it got pushed back or removed completely, or was it pushed back to 3.7? I can't remember, but now it's back in 3.6. It's only in scheduled, so they'll hopefully be getting on with that soon. And the only update for 3.8 is the mission giver Eddie Parr, who is found at Microtech. He is at 7 out of 29 tasks complete. Last week he was just scheduled. So they're making some steady progress there. Still a bit of time left to go. We know that 3.5 flight model is going to be given to the Eva Cotti testers a few weeks earlier than normal. Still no word on that yet, but I'll let you know as soon as I know it goes into Eva Cotti testing. Also, do remember, Erin said that they're quite confident they can meet all these tasks. So we will start seeing new tasks being added to it as they hopefully come to completion on those ones. But so far so good. Another week down the line, we will see where we are then. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me over on twitch.tv/SuperMacBrothersRyan, where we hang out together and talk Star Citizen. Big shout out to my patrons. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support. If you do like my videos and want to help me keep the videos going and make them better, head over to my Patreon page with the link below. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.
Alright, here's the link to Super Mac Brother. So what's the command to make it work? Is it just bank heist? Exclamation point bank heist? Is it I before E or EI? So whatever happened to I before E except after C? Not that I got it wrong. But see, that's why I hate English. English is stupid. I don't see it doing nothing for me. Am I not allowed to play it? Oh, it doesn't let me enter it, so I can't test it out. Is it working? Imkeeper, try to do the bank heist. See if it puts you in the thing too. Now we gotta try to figure this freaking raffle out. I mean, what happens if I just... ticket raffle, a keyword raffle, and an auction. So let's just raffle item fake. Okay. So is it gonna tell me to pick a word? Okay, I put the keyword in here. Test. Raffle item fake. All users. The heist payouts are 150. Is that not good? Is that good or bad? I mean, I don't even know what you're telling me. It means it pays you 150 for every 100 that you spend. Okay, so action. Oh, that's auction. Okay. Just see if we hit start. Okay, so do exclamation point test to enter the fake raffle for 100% fake nothing. Imkeeper, would you please do me the honor of entering the fake raffle for absolutely nothing? Okay, I see you guys over here. All right, all right, all right. We're cooking with gas here. I wonder if I gotta let the timer run out. Or not. I don't think I want a timer on it. I mean, what happens if I don't want any timer at all on it? I'll have to figure that out. Okay, let's hit the draw winner button. M-Keeper, you're not following the stream, dude. Oh. He's lost. So, A-Corps, obviously I have to say to everybody that they have to be following for it to work. Is that how this works, A-Corps? But still, he's the winner. So then I would have to hit it again, and then it would announce the winner, right? The winner is A-Corps. Okay. We got it. Well, I can do in the. Well, thank you for the follow, Innkeeper. I appreciate that. So what we can do is. So how does the ticket raffle work? I assume this is the one that Oxford does that I do not understand how the ticket raffle works. I never really stay up late to really see how it works. I'm not worried about it, Innkeeper. The only people that come here are usually Oxford's people. We don't get many people. We keep our giveaways on the down low in like a secret club. We kind of like pass our money around back and forth. But Oxford needed some help with giveaways, so I gave them 70 New Zealand dollars for the giveaway for the end of the month. Is it working? Are you getting tickets, or do I need to do something? I didn't hit start or nothing. All I did was click on ticket raffle. Oh, this is ticket raffle canceled. Ticket raffle for this. Each ticket costs 1 bone, and okay, you can buy up to 10,000 tickets. Type ticket. Okay. So how do you end the ticket raffle to find out who wins? A-Corps. Oh, I see. Innkeeper put in 19 tickets. And A Corp's put in 50 tickets. Okay, I see how this works. The winner is Impkeeper with 19 tickets. Got it. I got it, dude. Why does Oxford make it seem so hard? That wasn't hard. Alright, so you want to add a command for rigged. So we can go to channel commands. It should be in there. RIGGED. Yes, we'll take bribes. All right. All right, back to business. All right, so we just got done with Super Mac. We'll go to Board Gamer. Okay, well, if he thinks he knows the Star Citizen and Squadron 42 release plans, then I want to hear it.
With what we know about release plans for Squadron 42 and Star Citizen is self. Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. With what we know about release plans for Squadron 42 and Star Citizen is self-publishing and as such doesn't have hard deadlines or release dates. This is a massively double-edged sword, with them being able to work on a task for as long as they want to hopefully get it perfect or in a great state, but the development process is potentially greatly increased because of this, with parts getting delayed and reworked. This is part of my FAQ series, and I will update it if anything changes, but is the current most accurate release.
Hey Corpse, pull up how many bones everybody has right now, if you could do that. Like, do like the top 10 or top 50 or whatever. See what kind of bones are out there. I'll make a decision if we gotta reset it or not. Too tilted.
Release schedule and plans for Squadron 42 Episode 1 and Star Citizen's Persistent Universe. Squadron 42 release plans. Squadron 42 is the standalone single-player campaign of Star Citizen. Squadron 42 Episode 1 has plans to release in 2020, but...
Yeah, those are the bots. We need like top 50. Yeah, we're at the reset. That's crazy. And the bots are... Or maybe I Maybe I gotta like their way to delete the bot.
But no actual date confirmed. The Squadron 42 Episode 1 roadmap currently shows them optimistically in beta by the end of Q2, so June 2020. There is also Squadron 42 Episode 2 and Episode 3, which are supposedly AAA games in their own right. And they are not the splitting up of Squadron 42, they are additional games effectively. The last word.
Yeah, it's kind of an unfair head start, I'd have to say. You guys got like 1,300 banked.
That we had on the release dates for these was roughly 2 years after each other. So episode 2 would be 2 years after episode 1 released, and episode 3 would be 2 years after episode 2 released. Squadron 42 episode 1 to 3 are all supposedly set before the Persistent Universe takes place. Your progress in episode 1 to 3 will be retroactively applied to your character in the Persistent Universe, giving you unlocks such as access to military equipment and ships. An example of this is the civilian version of the F-8 Lightning heavy fighter, the F-8C, which would be unlocked after reaching a certain point in Squadron 42 Episode 1. You can play Squadron or Star Citizen entirely separately of each other, though. You do not need both. What are Star Citizen's Persistent Universe release plans? Star Citizen's Persistent Universe, which is the multiplayer aspect of Star Citizen, is planned to have 4 major live patch releases each year indefinitely. These will fall around the same time each annum, with live builds Q1 end of March, Q2 end of June, Q3 end of September to mid-October to coincide with CitizenCon, they've said, and Q4 end of December. There will still be minor patches and server hotfixes in addition to these patches, though. There has also been a case where they split a major patch in the case of 3.3 and 3.3.5, where they wanted to get object container streaming in before 3.4's release, though this is less likely to occur now in the future, as they have made the roadmap less aggressively scheduled, so they can say with a high level of confidence that features are going to be there and not move so much, although delays and movement of features, additions to features, that sort of stuff are inevitable. And you can see the latest roadmap linked down below. Prior to these major...
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I can't find the... where to reset the bones. There's bedding. Under development. Users. Configuration. Master settings. You know anything about this? User rank. Streamer stuff ain't so easy, man. It's complicated. The heck? Game Wisp. And I'm old and I can't see. I need to figure this stuff out before I get older and I can't see even more. Otherwise, it'll never get done. Get harder and harder. I don't see anything.
Patches typically up to 4 weeks before they will have an Evocati or early test release phase, which is limited to Evocati test flight of a small group of select backers that help test very, very, very buggy versions of the game, and then that will go on to a PTU, a wider test release.
Okay. A-Corp's coming in with the here. User database tab. Right click any user. Well, how do we do everybody? Because there's a lot of people. No way to do it like everybody. Gotta do everybody individually. Reset whole database. Sounds like everybody. Points. Yes. Okay, now do a top 10. Fixed? I think we did it. A Corpse. #1 mod right there. Taking the #1 mod spot.
Before going to a live release. These patches might have very special test conditions. They may have limited content, which they keep on adding to, major bugs, and or be significantly more unstable than a live build. The idea here is that they quash bugs and test things before they go live. Star Citizen's release date is a bit harder to determine. They have stated that they consider it as kind of a no more resets release after they've completed their remaining 3 pillars. As currently in Star Citizen's Persistent Universe, progression is reset when it comes to your ships that you've bought in game, items you've bought in game, and currency that you've made in game with those major releases and with some minor updates as well. So you never know when your progress is basically going to be set. But they've said that they're going for this no more resets. Progress will continue kind of phase after they finish their 3 remaining pillars of the game, those being group and org features, full persistence, and then finishing with working server meshing. I'll take the appropriate clip from Chris Roberts when he was talking about it at the 2948 CitizenCon Road to Release.
So from our standpoint, in terms of what we would think is the experience when you guys can sit in and play the game day after day and not worry about it getting wiped, not worrying about, oh, I'm going to do something for a day or two and there's no point because they're going to reset the system. When we get to full persistence and server meshing, that's our marker. And sure, after that, we've got planets to do and star systems, and we're going to have continual feature development. But this is an online live game, and so for us, we don't have a particular viewpoint in terms of, oh, that's it, this is where we finish it and we don't do any more work. It's like literally, we kind of view, as long as you guys want to live in this universe, every 3 months, we're giving you a build. And here you are.
You will keep giving us your money.
Here's a bit more, and here's a bit more.
That's
and when
what
we
he's
get
saying
to
right
the full persistence and server meshing, I think at that point, that's when we're not going to be resetting the servers. It's when it will be an ongoing, living, breathing game. And that, I'm not going to give you a date, but but you can watch on our roadmap as we develop it, and just watch for that. Because us internally, those are what we view as our sort of cornerstones that we need to get to. And yes, there's a lot of other things that we've talked about that we're also working on. But when we get that, we feel like it will be a game like no other.
So to me, that sounds like a soft release with meaningful, continuous progression and decisions once server meshing is fully in and working as intended. Obviously, dozens of other features and expansions to the gameplay area are happening simultaneously to that. The focus in 2019 and at least early 2020 is to get Squadron 42 Episode 1 out and all of its features, where possible, into the Persistent Universe. Getting features ready for the Persistent Universe can require more work, as they need to be working in a multiplayer environment and might have some extra complexities that the PU affords that Squadron 42 does not. Full persistence is being worked on now, and some of the backbone of server meshing is also seeing work. This also requires servers to be as optimized as possible, which is an ongoing task and will eventually allow more players into each server instance, which is currently locked at time of recording to 50. Full persistence is likely to be on the roadmap for early 2020, but no confirmations on that. I am expecting personally no more resets gameplay in late 2021, mid 2022, as I suspect they'll want to fully dial in server meshing. There is still a huge amount for them to do even after that, but their plan is to continue to release more for the Persistent Universe, more for Star Citizen every 3 months. Please tell me what you think about this current release schedule and plans for Squadron 42 and Star Citizen in the comments below. I'll update these videos as and when we know more. And if you'd like a breakdown of exactly what all these different features are, like full persistence and server meshing and the new flight model, things like that, please check out the rest of the series, the Star Citizen FAQ, which goes through everything like that. Every month we have a Star Citizen ship giveaway for February. It's for a Cutlass Black and Star Citizen game package. All you need to do is be subscribed to the channel and comment on any of my videos made during the month. If you don't have a gaming PC yet, or you are upgrading, instead consider Shadow Cloud Gaming. They allow you to leverage the powers of the internet to stream a high-spec Windows 10 environment to any other PC, Mac, or device like a smartphone or tablet. It is working really well in Star Citizen's 3.4 branch, and be sure to use the code BOARDGAMER if you do decide to check it out to get a discount. Links below. This channel exists because of its community. If you wish to support the channel.
All right. Board Gamer. Link to his channel right here. So, grand finale. I think it's a hardware video from the new Think. It's a power supply. I'm probably going to mess this up, but the Gamdias. I want to say, I'm not going to say it. Ast rape? Ast with a T, raped. 80 gold. P1 650 watt review. Okay, interesting name there. A-straped 80, maybe it's A-straped. Okay, I gotta start over.
Hello YouTubers, this is the Noobifier. I recently did some product reviews for a company called Gamdias. Those are linked up for you right now and also at the end of the video. I was impressed with their focus on quality before aesthetics, while managing to nail aesthetics as well. It's critical that a product does what it's supposed to do, but Gamdias also manages to dial in their RGB to 11. When they offered to sponsor this what it's supposed to do,
this is his new rig that he hooked up for his sim rig. And he just replaced the CPU in it and put the 9900K in it. He did a review on this cooler too. It's a pretty beast.
but Gamdias also manages to dial in their RGB to 11. When they offered to sponsor this video, I accepted because I want to bring you the information that hopefully will let you make an informed choice. Welcome to my review and overview of the Astra P1.
Yeah, the cooler that was on there is a Gambius also, I believe.
A 650 watt modular power supply. Gamdias are a new company with a mission to create quality gaming gear that lets you stand out. Before I get too deep into this review, I feel it's important to cover two considerations when choosing a power supply. First is the 80 rating. Many of you have seen it, but when researching for this video, I wanted to understand why it was important and what it meant. In 2007, there was a new standard created to describe power supply efficiency. To receive certification, a power supply would need to operate at maximum rated load at better than 80%. Bronze is only achieved at 82% efficiency, silver requires 85, gold requires 87, platinum is 90, Titanium needs both to hit 90% at full load and must also be capable to maintain 90% all the way down to 10% load. Efficiency, aside from being more economical, can also be seen as a product that's built right, with proper components, no corners cut, and considering better engineering principles. The better the rating, the more confidence that you can have that the team who made it had tighter tolerances. The Astra P1 is an 80 gold certified, meaning it has at least 90% efficiency at 50% load and holding no less than 87 at full load. To get a better idea of what wattage you need,
I want to hear him say it one more
7
time.
at full load and holding it has at least 90% efficiency. P1 is an 80 gold certified, meaning it has confidence that you can have that the team who made it had tighter tolerances. The Astra P1 is the Astra P1 is the Astra P1 the Astra P1 is an
The Astrop? The Astrop P1?
confidence that you can have that the team who made it had tighter tolerances. The Astra P1 is an 80 gold certified, meaning it has at least 90% efficiency at 50% load and holding no less than 87 at full load. To get a better idea of what wattage you need, I have a trusted calculator that's linked up for you right now. There's no need to drop hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a 1200 watt power supply if you don't actually need it. The PC I'm testing today is my VR rig, which was from the previous videos. It was upgraded. I entered my components into the calculator. An Intel 8700K at 5 GHz at 1.25 volts, two 8 gig sticks of RAM, a pair of M.2 SSDs, an all-in-one cooler, and an RTX 2080. I think the 650 watt Astrap will be perfect. The second thing to consider is semi or fully modular. Years ago, all possible wires were directly attached to the power supply. The PC builder needed to deal with a
He is saying Astrop, isn't he?
mess of wires by strapping them somewhere out of the way. This mess also interfered with airflow or just made the PC look ugly. Modular power supplies have removable wires on plugs, allowing you to install only what you need. In the past, this was seen as a luxury, but now I consider it mandatory. The wires come in a storage bag to keep unused parts available for the future. The 20+4 is where the motherboard gets most of its power. This wire provides power at several voltages to run the system and subsystems. Newer generation motherboards require more and more power. The extra 4 or 8-pin power connector is common, but this Z390 has an additional 4 plug in addition to the 8. This extra power improves stability when overclocking by mitigating voltage drops due to higher loads. There are 3 leads with 3 SATA each. There are leads with standard Molex and 2 wires, which will feed a pair of 8-pin PCI Express ports. The RTX 2080 that I have has one 8 and one 6-pin, which are both on a single wire. The metal housing is solid and I really like the design. On the rear there's a button which cycles through RGB effects. By now you've seen that there are many and there should be something there for everyone. You can even have RGB disabled. The fan is very quiet and moves air well. For some reason, if you don't care about acoustics or if you're having trouble keeping your PC cool, flick the switch and the fan ramps up to 100%. I've never actually seen this on a PSU before. It's very loud, but if you use headphones, you might value better thermals over acoustics. This feature could really help a jam-packed high-performance micro ITX build if the regular airflow isn't keeping up with the heat. So, impressions. It's been installed for 5 days with a stable overclock. It survives Prime 95, and so far I've logged over 15 hours of VR gaming without any issues. Nothing on it gets warm even in silent mode, and the computer looks great. When you consider the quality of the parts, its 80+ gold rating, great looks, silent operation, and a barely believable 10-year warranty, it's pretty easy for me to recommend that you consider it. Power supplies are usually pretty boring, which is fine if it's tucked away. If you have a display build, like my VR rig, why not spice it up? Thank you very much for spending your time with me. I hope you found the review useful and interesting. I have the links in the description for you, and thanks to Gamdias for reaching out to me and sponsoring this review. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.
Excellent, excellent. All right. Here's the link to Noob's hardware video. No. You can't say that, Imp Keeper. I have my toys and I put my money in that area. So when you put money into one area, then you don't have things in the other area. Like I got this house I built. I haven't built my garage yet, but I got 4 sheds out there. But I got enough computers in my house to where I could have built a garage. I have 1, 2, 3. I got 5 computers. Hang on, I'll see if I can find it real quick. Dude, he makes so many free. Got an addiction. Okay, that was already out, I believe. So how many months ago was oh, when did I go there? Was it? I can't remember. It was before, it was November. So November was right around this time. I want to say it was after. Oh, he does his playlist. So it would probably be Gear Shorts.
Hello, YouTubers. This is the Noobifier. As I test out more ways to make content,
Oh, man. No, it's not in there. Oh boy, where would he put it? Oh, I feel so bad that I can't just go right to it and find it. I just gotta take my time and focus my eyes that don't work on the pictures. So I find the right one. Here it is.
hello, YouTubers. This is the Noobifier.
So I went over to the noob's house on like a short vacation, and it was like the 2080 Ti launch, because he said he wanted to do hardware videos. So I said, you know, yeah, I'll get a good piece of hardware and I'll come see him. We'll do something crazy to it. I bought this it's like a water cooled kit from AlphaCool that goes on the 2080 Ti. So this is for you, MK. I know A-Corp's already seen it. I don't know if anybody else has, but yeah, this is my video card. I took it down there and we were partying and hanging out, and yeah, this is what happened.
Today I'm trying to get the word out about an interesting solution from AlphaCool. In the most general terms, CPU and GPUs operate on clocks and frequency. The higher those are, the more output they'll do, which is called an overclock or beyond standard. The higher you push, the more voltage you might need to preserve stability. This results in more heat. Everything's going to go fine until the tech gets too hot and starts to throttle. Throttling is when the tech sees that it's operating too warm and downclocks itself to return to normal. You can maintain your higher overclock if you never throttle, and this is why most people who plan to do overclocking address the cooling from an overkill perspective. This is where the AlphaCool might actually come in very handy. The 2080 Ti is the most up-to-date GPU, and its initial load testing showed it leveled out around 80 degrees Celsius. It runs all day and all night under load at 80 without issue. If you wanted it to run cooler, you could easily bump the fan curve, which will also increase the noise from the fans. Even with the fan set to a deafening 100%, you may never be able to achieve a very high overclock. Water is 5 times more capable than air at moving heat away from a component, and when done properly, this can keep things cooler without all the noise. AlphaCool was the first to make a hybrid cooling solution for the 2080 Ti. They made a solid aluminum VIN stack that'll passively cool into the case and then also address the GPU directly with a closed-loop pump plate and a 240mm radiator. This fully replaces the stock cooler. They also included a new backplate, which is how the contact is made. To begin with, we need to disassemble the card. You'll need a clean, well-lit place to work, micro drivers, Q-tips, alcohol pads, and paper towel. Steve over on Gamers Nexus did a very detailed teardown, which is linked in the description, but it's actually quite simple. Unscrew the backplate and remove it. Release the 4 tension screws and then release all the bolts that hold the cooler onto the front side. Once the cooler is disconnected from the card, release the ribbon cable and carefully clean up all the thermal pads and the thermal compound. The included instructions show you how to cut the included thermal pads. I used a razor blade, and this is my only main complaint. The pads were not pre-cut, but this is actually quite minor. With the newly cut pads on the VRM and memory, apply the thermal compound of your choice and carefully align the card onto the cooler. First, you're going to install 2 small bolts that'll help you keep everything in place for the next step. Cut and place the rest of the thermal pads on the back of the card according to the instructions, and then carefully place the backplate. Unlike the stock cooler, this cooler is held together with screws that pass through the backplate, through the PCB, and into the fin block. I loosely finger tightened all the screws and then snugged them in a pattern over and over until they were fully tight. Now you're ready to install by locating a suitable place for the radiator and fans, and then installing the card into a slot. The pump has a PWM connector that can plug directly into a CPU or pump header, and there's also a Y splitter for the fans. I'll close out with my impressions. The results of all of this effort is a system that operates a full 10 degrees cooler under the same load while being practically inaudible. I could likely pull the temperatures down even further if I was willing to add a little bit more noise. The pump is very quiet even set to 100, and the loop takes a significant period of time to level out. I think this has to do with a massive aluminum heat spreader and the water block. Everything that gets hot is in contact with the heat spreader. And that's it. This video was not sponsored in any way. I was able to bring you this information because a friend offered his hardware for me to test. Thanks very much for spending your time with me. I love it when a company is passionate about quality and not into cutting corners. I was impressed by the AlphaCool hybrid design, and I think you'd be happy with it. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.
Yeah, and that's what we did when we got over to the noob's house. And then, so this computer right here is my gaming computer, and it's overclocked. This is an overclocked 8700K to 5 gig. It's all water cooled and everything, and yeah, but the card is not in there yet. This is a picture taken before I put the card in there. I had to put a radiator right here, and then there's more water hoses that go this way into that thing that you just saw. This is my streaming rig. This is kind of like my pride and joy thing right here. This is when I first put it together. It's about 4 foot tall. Try to get it on here. Things aren't in the way. Yeah, it is big. It's an i9, and it's got 128 gig of RAM in it. And this is a 16 core, I think. I believe it is a 16 core, and it's overclocked. And that's why it needs all this water right here. And there's 2 radiators up here, 2 480s, and 2 560 radiators down here. And that's the pump. It's the reservoir. These right here are two 1080 Ti's. That's a water junction block because the water goes through this card, into this card, and then through the CPU, up through the two radiators, and then down through here. So yeah, that's a technical marvel right there. That's a crazy amount of money spent in that box. And this is my baby right here. It's powered by this laptop over here on the table. And yeah, this is my arcade cabinet. And this is a picture of me and Noob when we were hanging out doing the video card. And now it's 3:30. So I guess we're gonna go back into some gameplay, do some more Anthem for a little bit. So I gotta change the name of the stream and all that stuff. So I'll entertain you with some of my prestige Star Citizen footage that I made. While I'm on the other monitor fixing up what I need to do to change games. What I need is like a partner in crime, like somebody to sit in the chair next to me on the other computer and like spin records and music and be funny and play games with me. That's what I need. I don't know what stream management is, but it does my stream on some crazy super setting. I'm doing CPU encoding with that i9 and it's just crushing it, dude. But then again, I'm taking like 4K and smashing it down in the 1080 for you guys. Alright, the information should be changed. And I guess I'm going to take this minute to go get more coffee. And we'll fire up that anthem as soon as I get back.
To fly away, I could show you the truth if you'd only let me lose, if you told me what you need. Should you take me from this darkness left inside?
This change can stop me.
All right, everybody's still here. I'm here, you're here, everybody's here. Hydration bot here. Awesome. Where I'd be without hydration bot. By the way, how do I get rid of my crime stat? Hoping the guards on Lorville would... No, you gotta go to... Katera? Or Korea? Kurita? Yeah. It's Korea. And it's on a planet. It starts with a C. Forget what the planet's called, so you gotta go to the planet that starts with a C. And then once you get there, you gotta go to Korea. And then you go there and there's a computer panel in a building. And you have to click the computer panel. And you gotta sit there and wait, and it's gonna take off so much crime stat. Depending on how high your crime stat is, the longer you gotta wait. And the whole time you're there, non-PCs will be attacking you. Yeah, non-PCs will be in there shooting at you, trying to kill you. If you got a gold gun, don't bring your gold gun, because if you have your gold gun out when you die, you'll lose it. Pissed me off. Well, players will be there too. If you don't see any non-PCs, it means that you got bigger problems.
Hey, we're doing well out there. Come check it out. Off somewhere. Check in when you
You'll get your gun back after they patch the game again. Then you'll get it back. Wonder how it's gonna work when the game releases. Are we gonna lose our rewards? Or are they not gonna spawn with us? How's that go? I don't know. You say hey. Well, this is Anthem. I don't know how many people have already seen the game. I don't know if you guys are expecting me to give you a grand tour of the town, or you guys just want me to just... I don't have a mission right now, so I'm walking around looking for a mission.
You have a death wish, is all I'm saying. They're predators. Is that all they are?
My FPS is struggling. Is the stream stuttering? I got 100 FPS, but sometimes when it goes through the stream machine on the other side, sometimes there's an issue with streaming some games. I don't know what it does. Is it having that stutter? Is the stream stuttering? Yes, no? I guess what I'm asking is the stream not smooth or no?
Hey, welcome back. How was the last run?
Pretty smooth, except for the Scar ambush.
Again? Those things are getting too bold. What did you do?
Drove as hard as I could to stream.
Next time, see if
You think I gotta play it?
time it right. Hit the scars, then squash.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, huh? I'm trying to think right now what I can do to try to fix it. I can stop the stream, start the stream back up, and try streaming it with the video cards instead of the CPU, but I don't think that would fix it either. Huh, let me go try some. Alright, we'll try this real quick. Is the stream still looking weird? I mean, we are walking slow through town though. I'll hit the run button. It sure does. It looks like it's like stuttering. But it's not for me, not when I'm playing it. It's playing like at 100 FPS. Alright, let me try one more thing before we abandon Anthem. I'm gonna end the stream, switch it over to my video card mode instead of my CPU mode, and then restart the stream. So the stream's gonna be down for like 10 seconds and then it's gonna come right back up. We'll try it.